Hello everyone, it's me Anita Timilsina. Today I'm going to discuss some of the important terms used in corporate accounting. So let's begin with my slides. So first part is introduction. Income statement is another financial statement which is used to understand the financial performance of the company. The income statement carries for far more information than just the different types of incomes made by the company, which will be discussed in the next section. Actually, I have taken two terms for this presentation. One is income statement and the other one is cash flow statement. Similarly, there is another financial statement. These two are these income statement and cash flow statement are the financial statement which is used in corporate accounting. There is another financial statement which is known as the statement of cash flows. The statement tells about the cash position of the company and how the company manages to use that cash throughout the year. Is all about cash flow. The presentation will focus on the analysis of cash flow and income statement and their importance to investor. This presentation mainly focus how the cash flows and the income statement plays a vital role in the company for the investor to invest on it. So here in regarding the income statement of an entity shows the revenues and expenses for a period. Means like it is the summary of entity of revenues and expenses for a period. This shows the profitability of the business for a period, hence can be used by the investors. It mainly focus with the in the profit so that investors can use in the future again. The income statement allows the investors to make comparison between the entities and find the most profitable option for the investment, so that this will be very easy to run the business. This also allows investors to see various non-cash expenses as well. And next slide is all about cash flow statement. A cash flow statement shows the movement of the cash flow during the period. It is all about the cash flow, cash flow to run the business. As the word movement suggests that it focuses on both inflow and outflow. It doesn't focus only in inflow. It focus in the outflow terms as well. It helps the investor to see all the cash revenues and expenses of the company. This allows them to see if there is any non-cash expense or income that can change the way financial looks. So moving towards the another slides, this is the slide which is about sources and application of cash. For BSP Bilton Limited, cash flow from operation is the major source of cash inflow. As in my assignments, I have clearly mentioned about the three companies. The first one is BSP Limited, and the second one is Santos, and the third one is Fantastic. So I have taken some of the important slides from my assignments, which I am presenting at the moment. So regarding for BSP Limited, cash flow from operation is the major source of cash inflow. Major source of cash outflow is payment towards interest and interest-bearing liabilities, payment of dividends, and purchase of fixed assets during all 3 years. So basically, I have taken 3 years: 2017, 2018 to 2019. So for Santos, cash received from customer is the major source of cash inflow. Major source of cash outflow is a payment to the suppliers, payment to the employees, compensation paid to subsidiaries for acquiring, and same and some acquisition was related to fixed assets. Likewise, for Fantastic Limited, cash flow from operation is the major source of cash inflow, whereas major source of cash outflow is the payment to the creditors, payment to the employees, payment regarding into the obligation. Moving towards the next slide, it's discussed in the trend in cash flow operation. In BSP, Bilton increased its revenue, but there is a minor increase in net cash flow from operating activities, which you can, which it is clearly mentioned in the assignment. In the Santos Limited, increase is received from customers every year. The payment to the suppliers is increased. Net cash from operation has also increased during all the 3 years. Whereas in Fantastic Limited generates less revenue in all 3 years as compared to the preceding year, and accordingly less cash inflow from operation was generated. So here I have made a table for the comparison between profit after tax and cash flow operation. You can see in your screen cash flow from operation for the year 2019, for the year 2018, and for the year 2017. So here is profit after tax as well as difference. So difference between the two is due to various non-cash items like depreciation and amortization, impairment, and other provisions in this table. I hope you understand this table very well. So moving to other slides, this is all about ability to generate cash to pay off all the capital expenditure. BSP Bilton generates huge cash inflow from operating activities to cover all the capital expenditure in all 3 years, whereas Fantastic Limited is not able to pay its operating expenses and payment to suppliers due to insufficient operating income in all 3 years. Likewise, in Santos Limited, made the major capital outflow from additional borrowing for acquiring subsidiary in the year 2018. During 2019 and 2017, there was no major cash outflow. Positive cash inflow from operating activity was there during 2019 and 2017. So, and the other one is cash from operation includes the dividends payments. In the case of BSP and Santos Limited, dividends payment was represented as a financing activity in the cash flow statement, whereas dividend can easily be covered from cash inflow from operation. In the case of and Fantastic Limited, negative cash inflow from operation was there, which did not allow the payment of dividends in all 3 years. So here is the financial strength of three firms, that is BSP Bilton, Fantastic Limited, Santos Limited. For the BSP Bilton, handling its operation efficiently to generate sufficient earnings. Then otherwise, no excessive borrowing during the 3 years, and the capital structure based on equity sources, continuous increase in net cash and cash equivalent, whereas at Fantastic Limited, no financial strength due to continuous negative cash flow in operating and investing activity. Positive cash inflow one only from financing activity, that is borrowing proceeds, which ultimately need to be repaid at the end of the tenure. Whereas at last in Santos Limited, revenue was increased every year, efficient in managing. Key is positive cash flow from operation. In 2018 only, borrowing was made to meet the shortfall for acquisition and expansion. So, moving towards the another slide, it is company for lending purpose. BSP built on the capital structure, liquidity criteria, and solvency were highest among all three companies for all the 3 years in the year 2017, 2018, and 2019. Company is capable to repay its borrowing and interest thereon. Whereas in Fantastic Limited, enough cash inflow not generated from operation, company may face trouble in the repayment of the borrowing. Likewise, in Santos Limited, positive cash from operation was generated, whereas borrowing for meeting capital expenditure. Less solvent as compared to BSP Billiton, hence the amount can be lent to BSP Billiton. So, after discussing all these points regarding three firms, that is BSP, Santos, and Fantastic, what we can say is like Santos Limited also have positive operating cash flow, whereas Fantastic Limited has not been able to generate operating cash flows. Cash flows of BSP Limited are enough to pay off the money required in other activities. BSP Limited is the most appropriate choice for lending